Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This video is a bit different from all the other videos that I have been creating because today I'm going to tell you what I do for a living. You see, when I created this channel, I have no intention of divulging to anyone what I do for a living and what company I work for. And the decision is fairly simple. It's because I don't want to have my personal life spill over to the company that I work for and vice versa. Second, we do have a social media policy in my company. I don't want to think of all the regulations, all the policies that I have to follow before I create a video. And that is why I do not tell anyone what I do for a living. Now, in France last week, something really bad happened. A man who was let go from his job killed 3 people, and these 3 people are all working in the HR, same as me. I have been an HR professional for close to 20 years now. The news from France is deeply upsetting, to say the least. I can only imagine the families of the victims and the family of the killer himself. Now, as of today, the killer has not yet divulged the reason why he killed these people, but the police has concluded that it is probably work-related because it is just a coincidence that 3 people work in the HR. One of those was an HR director of the guy's former company. Now I get it. People loves to hate the HR. We are not fun people. We always think of mistakes. We always enforce laws and regulations that are not fun to be followed. But the thing is, when it comes to termination, the decision is hardly the HR director or HR manager at all. It involves fairly several people. Now, depending on how small or how big the company is, it involves probably the owner, the general manager, the head of that department where the guy worked, and of course the HR director or HR manager. In the termination process, there are 2 main responsibilities of the HR professional, HR manager or HR director. First is that the HR professional needs to really be sure that the action or the reason is justifiable for termination under either the law of the company or the law of the country. Second, the HR professional must ensure that the associate has been given all the venues for him or her to present evidences that work for him, given the platform to explain himself, and given also the time to take an appeal if he or she wants to. And the third, before I forget, is that the HR professional has to make sure that the staff received everything that he or she is entitled as per the law of the country and the law of the company. So these are 3 main responsibilities of the HR professional during the termination process. So as you can see, the decision during the termination process is collective. Now I understand why HR professionals are fairly easy target, and it is because of this, because we are the face of the company. We are the first person you will see during the hiring process, and we are the last person you will see when you leave the company. If it is a hiring, it is a joyous occasion, obviously, but it is, a termination, then it is a really, really sad and depressing affair. As I said, I have been an HR professional for close to 20 years already, and I have had terminated a few people. Terminating someone, whether it is your first time or your 10th time, is never gonna be easy. It is always energy draining, toxic, and a very sad process. During the investigative meeting, when we have to really have to ensure that this person really needs to be terminated, it really drains your energy. If I'm in that meeting, I could not work after that meeting. I could not think of anything else. It's very toxic. I could not eat properly. I could not even sleep well at night. And because it's always difficult to let go of an associate, because we know that that associate has responsibilities to himself or herself, to his family. It doesn't matter if that associate is single or a father of 3 or a mother of 2, it is always a very depressing affair. Now, aside from the painful process of letting go of an associate, there are several other challenges when you are working in the HR field. First is that you don't really get to be close to other employees because one, it is natural for employees to ask a favor from you, and that favor might violate a company policy. So it is best that you put some distance between you and the employees. Second is that you will always be a butt of jokes. I understand, as I said, we're not, HR professionals are not fun. We are always looking for mistakes and so on and so forth. So, you just have to accept that that is how things are going to be. Third is that as an HR professional, you have to be very, very careful of your actions. You have to be professional at all times, especially when you are in the company. And even in your social media platforms, if you are very active on those platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, you have to be very, very careful that you do not violate the company policies on hate speech, on racial discrimination, and other things that might deem offensive by the company and by common sense. If you are new to the HR field, I hope I am not discouraging you. I would actually encourage you to take up and to continue your HR journey. Being an HR has its challenges, yes, but there are a lot of fulfilling activities also attached to the HR. Hire good people, you have the tools to develop them, and to see them grow from, let's say, line staff up to director is really an achievement as well. If you are an HR professional like me, be strong, stay strong, especially during this pandemic when we have to let go of people or when we have to furlough a lot of people. I mean, me personally, I have experience being on unpaid leave and being or having my earnings reduced. It's been ongoing since last year, and I can only imagine what people have experienced as well. So that's it for now. Ciao.